Hello, everyone. So we're going to start the webinar, Writing Funding Proposals by Youth Coping with Climate. I am Miguel Trejo. I am a Disaster Risk Reduction Coordinator, and we welcome you on behalf of Water Youth Network. So we will have 4 different presentations. The first one is going to be the Juno platform. The second one is going to be given by Otucunduva. There's an organization based in Brazil. And the third one is one from YWC, that is Youth for Water and Climate. And we're going to close the presentations with Water Youth Network. So some basic instructions for the participants. You can be active on the chat, so feel free to comment, to write your name down there, and country, and maybe profession as well. And after every presentation, we're going to show a Google Drive with the questions. So then the speakers could respond, could answer the questions that you have made in the chat. So we're going to organize these questions in this Google Drive. Okay, so feel free to share your thoughts, and very welcome again to this first webinar where we actually have the participation of different organizations as well as different teams of Water Youth Network. So we're going to start the first presentation with the introduction to the Juno platform. This presentation is going to be given by Javed, who is the co-coordinator of the disaster risk reduction. So, Javed, I will display your presentation here, and then you can let me know when you want to go next, and you can unmute. Like, it's really important that everyone who is attending the webinar mute the microphone, then we don't disturb the speakers. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And I think Javed can start with the first presentation that is going to be about the Juno platform. So you're going to know a little bit more about this platform that is part of the Water Youth Network.
While we wait Javed a bit, so the main idea was first to introduce you all to the Water Youth Network for the ones that are not familiar with our organization, and also to invite you to go through the website and so on, and about what does Water Youth Network do. We mainly connect young professionals and youth dealing with water-related issues around the world. And one main project of this organization is the Juno platform. And the Juno platform, and here the video can explain better. If you can just play there. And in this 1-minute video, we'll explain you more or less what the project is. And also it's...
Youth-driven knowledge in water. You know how there are many projects, organizations, and youth-driven ideas about water around the world? This builds up a huge information bank. But don't you think it would be great if we have it all available at the same place? So if you're looking for information about water, you will know where to start from. Or even if you have an idea, you could even find cooperation, support, communication, and even people having the same objectives as you: water, youth empowerment, and innovation. All of this available just a click away from your mouse. Something like this, an interactive platform that you can access anywhere and anytime. As young water professionals and entrepreneurs, we think that this tool is very important because it fills up the gap of lack of experience, guidance, and even funding opportunities that often make the water projects to fail. And now they will have exponentially more chances to succeed. Right now, for the Water You Network, you know, is a priority project because we believe that if we want to work effectively and globally to solve water issues, we definitely have to work together. Help us make this possible.
As you also saw in the video, the main idea is to connect not only organizations, but also youth that which have any idea or that they want to develop an idea and they want to get inspired, not only about their main issues in the region, but also what others are doing in the same region. And then you can also easily connect with others that are working in your country or in your region or in your same thematic. So we have also several thematics that you can filter and map around the world and also per region. And in the future, with the tools, you will also be able to connect and to engage with them in discussions and so on. Yeah, this is also a bit just about our journey and how the idea started, but I'm not going into details. So just to say, now we have funding from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. We are a worldwide organization, but it is based in the Netherlands. And we have this DUPC2 funding to develop and to finish developing this platform and the tools for you. So in the next slide, it's also a bit, this is what I was telling you, the map where you can find the projects, and then also the next one. The next slide, you have the categories. We mainly have these 8 categories where you can filter and when you can start mapping and connect with the organization, finding information, etc. And the next one, it's how many members are from countries and so on. So we also would like you, especially to invite you today to join, and how. So in the next slide as well, and why you will be interested in join. What we are mainly doing now, it's also showcasing these projects that are in the platform in the different events and international forums, etc. And also some of the members that are attending to some important forums as the COP24. It's also easier to connect with organizations that you knew already they exist or where they are working, so the youth can be connected and can also work together. And about the tools coming soon as well, the benefits as well are the research lab, and I think it's in the next slide. The research lab, which will be a supermarket of tools for youth dealing with these water-related issues. So you can go as a virtual supermarket and consult some tools or activities from data sets to also webinars, so MOOCs, so etc. Very much focused on youth. And the other one is the Ideas Incubator, which will be like a virtual challenge also for youth to develop their ideas, and the strategic forums. And that tools will come soon, next year. Now, yes, how to join. It's in the next one. In the next slide, because I'm also taking more time. In the next slide. But you mainly enter to, but some a bit more on the users and our partners. One of our partner, the Youth for Water and Climate, they will present part of this webinar. But we also want to extend also not to youth, but also users that you can connect with, and you can also engage with them at some point. So how to join. It's very easy. Just go to the website, click on Become a Member, and the next one. I think it's the last one. You just need to fill a form in this website, and I think I will not go through, but it's very easy. Just click on Become a Member and just fill out. And also, if you have any other doubt or comment, and we are also in kind of beta or pilot platform. So if you also have any feedback about it, or any other tool you want to see, or any other useful resource, just let us know in this email, feedback at Water Youth Network, and we will be very happy to listen to it. And I think that's it.
We can continue with the AME o Tucundura organization. That is going to give a presentation about young protagonists in the Amazons. So I will display the presentation. And then Mariana, who is going to present on behalf of the organization, she could start presenting as well.
Hi.
Hi, Mariana. Welcome to the webinar.
Thank you. So can I start?
Yeah, sure. That's right.
Okay, so to introduce myself, my name is Mariana Guimarães. I'm from Belém, a city on the north of Brazil that's also part of the Amazon region. And here I'm represent the social organization AME Tucunduba, where I work as one of the coordinators of communication mobilization. And I'm going to share some experience we are having in these 2 years of acting. But first, I would like to introduce where we live. Can you pass the presentation, please? Thank you. So, as you must know, just 2.5% of the water in the world is fresh. And here in Brazil, we shelter 12% of this. And here in Brazil, the Amazon basin has 60% of the fresh water in Brazil. But can you pass, please? Yeah, the Amazon basin. We had 60% of the fresh water in Brazil. And please pass. Thank you. But still, we have the worst sanitation access. In north and northwest of Brazil, just 1 in 2 women has access to this service. Here in Belém, less than 10% of the population has water supply and sanitary sewage. And we are very used to hear, oh, we turned our backs to the river. Can you show the next, please? Next. Can you skip one more, please? Yes, thanks. And we are used to hear, we turned our backs to the rivers, because the more our city was getting urbanized, the more it moved away from the coast. But we forgot something. We don't have just the river on the borders of the city. We have huge basins inside the city. Can you pass, please? No, just go back 1. Yes, thanks. So the more populated districts are part of the more flooded areas and live directly with the rivers, be it in natura or channelized, like in this photo. But why we don't see these rivers? Why we forgot to treat them as rivers and not just wastewater? Pass, please. And because of these doubts and anxieties, that AME Tucunduba was born in 2016 on a workshop facilitated by favela staffs in a preparation program for the World Water Forum from 2018, this year. So we do educational practice aimed at young to increase the participatory management of the Tucunduba River Basin. Next, please. This is the map from the Tucunduba Basin. We have 3,600 meters of extension, and it includes 5 districts that are one of the most populated districts here in Belém. And also they have a lot of people on poor conditions. So next, please. So we believe that the young can and should be protagonists of the change of their reality. So we can't wait the government or someone else to settle down all the problems, especially when we are talking about rough areas, which are the places that suffer more with the lack of basic sanitation and flooding in the rainy season. The rainy season here in Belém is about December until March, and these regions got a lot of problems when it rains and the city is not prepared because their urbanization wasn't planned. So today we are formed by 8 women from different areas of knowledge, and we have 3 projects. Pass, please. Next. One more, please. Thanks. One of the first of them is Faça Você Mesmo, or Do It Yourself. It's like an urban intervention that we do on the course of the Tucunduba. We also have Fala Tucunduba, or Speak Tucunduba. The next, please. Yeah, that is a 3-month formation course that aims to increase the young participation in the management of the water resource. We started this course this year. We had 1 edition, and we were very happy with the participation of the young from these districts. And also we have the Tucunduba expedition. Next. That is a technical visit along the course of the river to recognize its extension and its peculiarities. It's also one of the most famous activities that we are known by, because a lot of people don't know that exists a river in the middle of the city, our urban river. So it's grateful to share these perspectives. And next, please. And because of that, and because our beliefs in the young and the needed to change the things, we are on a campaign that ends in 27 on this month, and it calls Abrace os Rios da Amazônia, or Hug the Amazon's River, that everyone can donate to improve our organization. Like, we want to be our NOG, and we want to make more expeditions. Now we have 80% of the money we are looking for, and everyone can donate, even outside of Brazil. And Next. And basically is that. So thank you.
Thanks, Mariana, for your presentation. So I think we are going to leave the questions until the last part of the presentation, and we're going to continue with the next one. I will continue with the next one, that is from the Youth for Water and Climate. So yeah.
And hence to scale up youth contributions to sustainable development goals and climate agendas. It is a digital platform that was launched in March 2018, and it's currently in its pilot phase. One of the most important points that I'll be highlighting today is that writing a strong proposal is really the key to obtaining support for your project. So here we have three key aspects of the Youth for Water and Climate approach. Firstly, to support young people in developing quality project proposals that are reviewed, labelled and approved by the Youth for Water and Climate's quality assurance mechanism. So this is the component that we will be focusing on today. Those projects that are approved by the Youth for Water and Climate will be published on the Youth for Water and Climate website, will be promoted by YWC, and will be given the stamp of approval. Secondly, to connect youth to supporters wishing to collaborate with young project leaders with strong projects. These supporters will then provide technical or financial support. And thirdly, by using digital technologies to facilitate the outreach and establishment of connections between youth and supporters on a large scale. So Youth for Water and Climate, YWC, is a partnership initiative supported by a technical secretariat comprising of Global Water Partnership, the International Secretariat for Water, and the University Agro-Paris Tech. So this is essentially what the digital platform looks like. There are online forms for young people to submit their projects and for interested supporters to register their profile. The project proposals that have been quality approved are showcased on a page. Finally, there's a section called Learn, where young people can find resources to help themselves prepare strong project proposals. So this is how you access the Learn section. And here we are in the Learn section of the platform. So here you can find resources on writing your project proposal and preparing your budget. We've tried to keep it simple by sharing some tips on the different topics and linking to selected guides. I would definitely recommend taking a look at the available resources here. Okay, so here we're going to touch on the key points that a detailed project proposal should include. Now first, of course, you'll want to include some general information about the project and about your team. So your name and your contact info, the location of the project. In particular, I'd like to emphasize that it is crucial that you demonstrate that your project is youth-led. And if we follow this example here, this is really a good formula where the age of the project leader and the project members is clearly demonstrated. It's really important that you make this information clear. So now we come to the content of the project. People reading the project proposal need to understand why you are doing this project and how you plan to implement it. So the first aspect to talk about is the issue to be addressed. And it is good if you can unpack a little bit the root causes of the issue. Your project will definitely be stronger for doing that. And secondly, you need to clearly explain the objectives of your project. And of course, these have to link with the issues that you've identified, but also identify the intended beneficiaries of the project as well. Thirdly, you need to explain how the project will be implemented, and this is critical. In all of the proposals that we receive, we see a lot of really good ideas, but very fuzzy explanations in terms of how the activities would be implemented. So I've included a exemplar log frame, and here you can see we've got the project objective, raising awareness about the causes of waterborne diseases, specifically cholera. And then you'll see in the log frame that there are 4 columns: activities, outputs, outcomes, and means of verification. And the text here should really relate to the project objective. And that just makes it clearer for us to understand how your implementation plan links up with your project objective. And yeah, it just helps us to clarify how you intend to implement your project. The supporters will also need to see information about the project budget with detail for each activity and, if possible, explanations on how this is calculated. One point which is important is how the impacts will be sustained after the end of the project. This is particularly important for projects where you build an infrastructure. You need to think ahead of time how the operation and maintenance of the infrastructure will be done. You should include a specific activity line in the project proposal to develop this operations and maintenance plan. It's also nice to include some information about whether there is a potential for replication or scaling up your project and why, and also a link to a web page, could also be a Facebook page, YouTube page, for example. We believe that these things can help to attract supporters. Okay, so finally, once you've written your proposal, we strongly encourage you to have it reviewed before you submit it. First, you should ask other people to read it. Secondly, we encourage you to try and assess your proposal yourself by using the Youth, Water and Climate Assurance criteria. This will enable you to make sure that you've covered the most important points in your proposal. And you can access the quality assurance grid on the Youth, Water and Climate website, as shown on the slide here. Okay, so I hope you found that information helpful. Do remember that you can visit the website to find out more information. Thank you.
So we're going to continue with the last speaker, that is Shabana. She is part of the organization WaterJet Network. She's the advisor board of WaterJet Network, and additionally, she's working as program manager at Aqua for All Foundation in The Hague, in the Netherlands. So we're going to listen a little bit about her experience in funding proposals as well. So welcome, Shabana, to this webinar. Feel free to talk a little bit.
All right. Hi, Michiel. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. And congratulations, Michiel, Janet, and the whole UNO team for organizing this wonderful webinar. So as Michiel mentioned, I'm part of the Water Youth Network, part of the advisory board, but professionally, I'm part of an innovation program that we're running in Africa specifically. So we don't particularly work on youth, or our fund is not focused for youth, but I do have some experience on how we review proposals when they come for funding, particularly from the innovation lens. So I've put together some tips and tricks for you guys, practical ones, based on my experience. I haven't been able to make a slide show or presentation, so I'm sorry for that. So I'll quickly tell you what I have in front of me. So one of the things that we notice that comes up very frequently when we read proposals is they're not well researched. So people make up stories or problem statements which are very weak. So my first tip would be that do your research and read up on the problem that you're trying to address. Also read up on the fund and the foundation that you're asking for support. And before jumping into actually filling in the proposal template, etc. The second would be check carefully what the requirements are. What is the thematic focus? Is youth actually a focus or not? What is a geographical focus? If you have an idea, let's say from Indonesia or from somewhere in Asia, and you're applying for a fund that focuses only on Africa, then your proposal will be automatically be discarded. I mean, that has happened to us as well. Like our fund was mainly focused on Africa, and if we received any application outside of it, it wasn't considered. So you may wanna look that up first before you apply. Another tip, mostly to do with writing of proposal, is to keep it very short and sweet. Do not complicate things. Do not complicate it by using very often used jargons. And if the funding agency that you're applying to for support does not have a proper template for proposal, and if it's open, just like for our fund, it was a bit open, then you may want to be a little bit creative about how you present your ideas and your project, etc. I would also, something we experienced a lot is that because our focus was on innovation, so anything that was mostly about, let's say, a water infrastructure or a WASH project, etc., went completely directly into the bin, because we were not interested in the traditional water projects. We were interested in innovation. So if you're not able to prove what is new in your project that hasn't been done before, then you basically don't match with the fund criterias. Something that was mentioned in the presentation by Youth for Water and Climate is have an external person look at your proposal before you actually submit it. Because sometimes it happens that we write our problem statements and we write the whole proposal from our own lens, thinking that the way we're communicating is the way a reader is going to understand as well. That is not always the case. And I've read many proposals, and I think writing clearly your ideas and your project scope, etc., is very key. So you may want to take somebody else's review before you actually submit your proposal. Something else that's really important is, and something that you should really try to answer before you submit any proposal, is the why question. Why should your idea or proposal be supported? You should really be able to highlight your unique position, or anything that sets you apart from others. Also, why the community or why the target group that you want to work with should be supported. Because as donors, there are many proposals that come in for many communities around the world, why a particular community should be supported. And you can always back that up with some figures, some numbers, some unique aspects of those target groups or communities. I'm just saying that a community somewhere in Brazil because the community needs support is not enough. I mean, if you're writing a proposal for youth, it would be good to mention what percentage of the community is actually youth and how are you going to use them in your project, etc. So those kind of numbers really help in setting the context of why your project should be supported. Other than that, if there is a particular donor who has supported many projects and you're applying for support from the same one, you may want to check what kind of projects they have supported before to get some ideas, not to copy ideas from the projects that have already been supported, because there is a high chance that the ones that they have already supported, they may not be supporting similar ones again. So you may want to be a bit careful there on what ideas you pick and how you try to frame your project. Another thing that you may want to be careful about is, not careful about, but something you may want to highlight is that what are your strengths as an organization, and also not kind of hiding your weaknesses, but kind of mentioning if there is a certain aspect in the project that is not your expertise, but you will be working with another organization that has that particular expertise, then you may want to mention that you're going to be working in partnership, because sometimes it happens that donors are not looking for proposals from single entities or single organizations. So you may want to highlight that you're going to be working together with other organizations. And you're going to pool, kind of pull in your expertise or your networks or, different kinds of resources. One more thing is to not create your own terminologies or jargons, and stick to the ones that the donor has mentioned in the introduction kit for the fund. Because if you try to come up with terminologies or words or jargons that you think work for you, and if you put them in the proposal, and if the reader is not aware of those or hasn't come across those, then you may be in trouble, because the person may not like the proposal because the person doesn't understand what you're talking about. One of the most important things I personally look into proposals is a compelling story, basically. So donors read tons of applications, and so you really want to make sure that you have a compelling story that would set you aside and would get you the support that they want in projects or organizations. Okay, 2 tips. Provide specifics. I mean, do not be very vague in your project proposal. Have a focus and use the right references and numbers to back up your assumptions or your solutions. And finally, more and more donors are interested in knowing how you will continue after the funding from them. So writing a proposal for funding is not rocket science. It's not a difficult task. Really, key is in how are you going to sustain your project or your your initiative after the donor support has finished. So what is basically your business model? How are you going to generate revenue to be able to keep things going? Or if you're working on a community project, how are the communities going to sustain the infrastructure or the project that you have set up after you leave the community? And that is really, really important. More and more for donors. So be mindful of that, even if you're engaging youth and if you have a brilliant idea. But if it's not going to sustain, then it's probably not very interesting for donors. So that's it. Final message is that there are a lot of toolkits. There are a lot of resources available online. So you may want to check them before you start to write down your proposals. And I'm pretty sure Platform will also put up a lot of resources for organizations to use. That's it, Mikhail, from my side.
Thank you very much, Shabana, for your presentation. So we have a few questions. So probably some of the speakers can share their thoughts about these questions that I will share with you here. Wait a second. Okay. So the first question is that Leopold is asking about the different activities in Africa from the UNOT platform. So probably Janet could help us with this, or even Shabana as well.
Yeah, specifically for the platform, I think I also put here, maybe you can just go directly to the map and see other organizations. The main idea of the UNOT platform is to connect and make easier to use to connect with others and to get inspired and to have some capacity building and some tools to develop their idea. You can also check the YWC website. They also have this type of map, so you can go there and see specifically in Africa, or even join one of the teams in the Water Youth Network if you have a specific team or thematic. You can just reach them. But also our last more recent activity was an event, WISA, which I don't remember exactly the acronym, but it was a region water forum, international water forum, and we present there the and we have few responses on organizations and people interested. So yeah, more specific, you can reach me by mail or whatever.
It's also good to mention that we have different members from Africa that are part of the World Youth Network. So for example, this event that Janet mentioned, that was like the African World Week, was like just a few weeks ago, actually. So there were like a few members from World Youth Network participating in these events, like kind of representing youth in this high level event. So, but you can reach out the platform as well, and then you can try to figure out about the different projects that are based in Africa as well. So, yeah. Anyways, feel free to send your questions afterwards if you feel like you need to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, indeed, you're right, Miguel. It was the Africa Week, and the other it was in South Africa. The conference of Water Institute of Southern Africa. And it was this part on how, sometimes can support projects. So it's also this showcasing the projects in this type of events and forums that the Water Youth Network are also joining there.
Okay, thank you, Janet. So we're going to continue with these two questions that are for Ahmed Tukunduwa organization. So probably Mariana.
Hi.
Yes. So Neil is asking about your experience in the UNOT platform. So probably you can share about more. Yeah.
So Neil, it was important to join this network because we had actually space in World Water Forum to talk about the Tukunduwa and share our experience with other young people, and it's the mainly why we are here today, like to share our experience and to show that we are not alone and we have the opportunity to change our realities. So I think it's a great idea to join this network, this platform.
So, okay, so we can go to a second question that is about the Amazon basin, basically. So do you have like any answer for this second question, Marian?
So the flood in Belém is not directly connected with the Amazon basin and Amazon River. Belém is practically at the sea level, and we have 14 river basins, and we have the tidal event twice a day. So this plus the urbanization that was not planned and that suffocated the rivers by building streets and houses in these areas of flood. And in addition, we have the heavy rains, that lasts almost like a semester. So with all these facts, that's why our region has a lot of flood, but it's not like unpredictable thing that happens, because it happens almost like for years. So we need to do something to change this, because the people that live in these districts, they suffer more. So that's it.
So yeah, I think just to complement, I think like this region is important to mention that is in a really important area where there is like really high precipitations, like even worldwide. So I mean, even that, and it's connected with different basins. Floods is one of the issues they may have, and they have to be facing like day by day, because like most of the year is raining a lot in this area. So yeah, Smith, he would like to join the organization, so probably he could actually get in contact with Marianne, and then you can actually see how you can work together somehow.
Yeah, I can share our network on social media at the chat, so we can talk.
That would be great. Yeah. So I don't know, guys, if you actually have more questions. If you have more questions, you can write it down in the chat, or you can send to Janet, either to Janet or me, and then we can try to answer them through the speakers. So I think these 4 presentations are going to are recorded right now. So we're going to send the link of the video, so then you can have a look on the video as well. So feel free to contact us for any other question that you may have and you didn't ask so far. So yeah, we're going to send the link by email. So I think that's basically all from my side. And thank you very much again for attending this webinar. And thank you to the speakers for presenting their work. So I hope this webinar has been useful for your projects and future projects. So I think that's all. I don't know if Janet, could you like to add something else?
No, thank you all for joining. Please check all the links, and thank you also Miguel and the disaster risk reduction team for the organization. Thanks, Giovanna, for the presentation. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. There's still some questions in the group chat, so maybe those from the Water Youth Network, we can make sure that we answer them before closing.
Ah, sure.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye,
them.
everybody. There's a question, when is the next webinar?
So we actually don't have a calendar, but we may be like posting on our social networks. So just have a look on the social networks, and then we're going to know when is going to be the next one. So, and we will try to make more related with different topics, since we are working with different issues regarding with water. Probably another one will be, different topics, not just, now it's just related to climate change and funding proposals due to the COP24 that is going to take place next week. But we're going to try to make more and let you know. Yeah.
Yep.
And the other, I think it was how to join the platform. So I put the link here. Yeah, if you have more time, you can stay and then I can go through. But it's just in the link. And then at the top, you have submit a project. You click and then you have a small form that you need to fill, and then it will be it. And yeah, after that, then you will receive an email with instructions and so on. And also about the newsletter and more information about the tools.
Yeah, you can actually go to this link. I'm not sure if you're like looking at my screen, but there is the link, and then you can like explore the link and then try to put your project there as well. So we are going to put your project in a database, and then we are going to keep in contact as well. Okay.
And I think that's all of the questions, right?
Yeah, I think so. I saw one question from Smith Doshi about the contact of Mariana, I think. I don't know if it's somewhere.
Yeah, I will put Mariana's contact on the WhatsApp, on the chat, and then you can reach her out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mariana.